What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a little bit. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that intro. That was just me jamming through Lux Æterna, the new song from Metallica. I can't believe I'm saying that, It's been a good number of years. What is it, 6 years? Since their last album, Hardwired to Self-Destruct, came out in 2016. So yeah, it's been a long time. But we're about a month after that song released, and I thought it would be good to give a breakdown of it. Is this a good song for Metallica? Is this a disappointing song? Let's talk about it, and I'm really curious to see what your guys' take on it is. Please let me know in the comments below. What did you think of this latest offering from Metallica? Are you excited for their new album? 72 Seasons is the name, and it will be coming out next year. So let's talk about it in depth, and thank you so much for watching. Let's get into this. So first, I'd like to start off way back in 2016 when Hardwired to Self-Destruct came out, and we had that hype train going into the release of this album. If you remember, the title track, which was first released leading up to the album, was just like Lux Æterna. Super short, very, very short guitar solo in it as well, and just right to the point kind of thrash metal music. And it was really good. I do think it was honestly better than Lux Æterna, but it was undeniably very similar introduction to the album. However, what we actually got when this album came out to full release was not like the title track that was teased to us at all. The full album was 12 tracks in total, with most of them being over 6 minutes in length. This album, I believe, was 77 minutes long in total, which is huge. For a Metallica record, those are very, very lengthy songs, which, they have done lengthy tracks in the past, but this album in particular was just full of them. And so in that regard, the title track that was shown off was nothing like the actual album, which was really surprising to a lot of fans. And I think what was really cool was that they did music videos for pretty much every track on this album, if I'm correct, and that was really cool. Gave great visuals to the sound and just made the tracks more engaging, of course. But after release, despite there being some hesitancy after that original really short title track, the album is very much universally acclaimed now. You can go on YouTube, watch all of the music videos for the songs. They have millions, tens of millions of views, with almost entirely positive commentary, and many fans stating that this is Metallica's best work since their early days, since Master of Puppets, since the Black Album. And so I think in that regard, it's really important not to judge Lux Æterna, I should say, because the title track for Hardwired to Self-Destruct was nothing like what we actually got in the end, which is pretty cool to look back on. And re-listening to this album now is just awesome. It's still held up so well. It is a fantastic, fantastic album in my opinion. But what has Metallica been up to since? It's been a long time since that album. And there's been countless world tours and collaborations from Metallica with many, many famous musicians, doing covers of their tracks, reimaginings of their tracks. It's, really cool to see them doing things in different genres and trying out new things, new orchestral performances as well from them, which is really cool. And then, of course, there was the latest season of Stranger Things. If anybody's seen that, it was a great season. I love that show, but Metallica made an amazing appearance in one of the episodes. I won't spoil what happens. You have to go see it. But obviously a huge popularity boost from that season, and rightfully deserved. It was an incredible pairing, and the person who plays Master of Puppets in the show Stranger Things, for when they show the close-up of him playing the guitar in the show, I believe it was actually Robert Trujillo's son who played those close-ups, which is just so cool. And if you watch the show, you'll see his fingers are actually matching up to the notes, which is just awesome. I love it when they do that in shows. But yeah, Metallica has done some amazing things in the prior years. They haven't just been sitting idle, which is great to see. I mean, these guys are getting old, but they are still going hard with new music, new ideas, and of course, countless shows. And all through this time, we've had hints over and over, mainly from Robert Trujillo, about how they're working on a new album. Lars also gave some hints about, they're deep in the process. It's going to sound kind of like this previous album or this previous album. Lots of hints along the way. But, of course, then the pandemic happened, and that slowed things down a bit. But they noted they were going to keep working, and they did. But this past year, there was some bad news, as James sadly had to re-enter rehab. I just feel so sorry for the guy. He can't catch a break. He has struggled with alcoholism his whole career, pretty much. And in 2004, he entered rehab for the first time. And having to re-enter it, I'm sure, is just not fun. There's no way that can feel good for him. And I'm wishing him the best in his recovery. And, hopefully he's able to recover soon as well, because they have another world tour starting next year to, of course, promote the new album. So that brings us to my thoughts on Lux Æterna. Well, it is a lot like that title track from Hardwired to Self-Destruct, and so I can't really judge it too harshly, because we're getting a full new album of content, and I don't want to, jump the gun and say, oh, this whole album is going to sound like Lux Æterna, because it's not. But I do have to give it some critiques. I think the drums just don't sound very good. They're typical Lars Ulrich drums, extremely loud in the mix, which usually I'm okay with. It kind of fits Metallica style, but here they sound particularly tinny, especially the kicks. I really just do not like how the kicks have this metal sound. I can't really put my finger on how to describe the tinny kind of clangy sound that they make, but just too much high in there. Too much of a high note in that, and it's just unpleasant for me to listen to. And also just kind of overcrowds the guitars and the bass. As far as James's vocals, I think they're solid. I don't like his pronunciation on some of the parts in the tracks, when he's mainly his uns when he finishes certain words, like evisceration. Some of those rhymes are just, they sound kind of silly, and I'm not a huge fan of his pronunciation, but overall solid performance. Solid guitar solo from Kirk Hammett. Typical shred fest that we've come to know and some of us love from him. Not his best work, but a solid solo and fits the song well. Overall, it's like a C track for me. It's a solid track, good energy. Lyrics are okay. They're just kind of based on shining eternally and lighting up and having a good time. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from the lyrics. And nothing groundbreaking here. This is about as run of the mill as a Metallica song as you can get. But like I said, I really can't use that as a critique going into this record, because I did that for Hardwired to Self-Destruct back in 2016, and man, that album ended up actually blowing me away and was nothing like the title track. And so that's what I'm thinking and hoping will be the case here, but we will just have to see on April 14th, 2023. So that's my overall thoughts. Okay track, like I said, about a C grade for me. Didn't really blow me away, but it's high energy. It'll be fun to listen to, and I'm going to see them live next year, so, I'm sure they're going to play it, and I'm sure it's going to sound awesome in a giant stadium. So if that's the vibe they're going for with the song, then in that regard, I think it's going to be great. But please let me know your thoughts down below. What did you all think of this track? Is it something that blew you away, or is it something that didn't? There's been quite a bit of criticism on YouTube, and a lot of people just saying it's really generic, not very exciting, and a lot of people actually going out and doing reworks of the song, making it faster, adding in a new guitar solo. I mean, it's pretty funny to see the kind of response on YouTube to this track. obviously a lot of positivity and a lot of excitement for the new album as well. But yeah, a lot of people like just saying, oh, kind of mediocre. I need to rework it and make it faster and make it more heavier, which is kind of funny. But yeah, please let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe. I'm really excited for 2023. This was a tough year for me. Incredibly busy, a lot of personal things going on that were not so great. So I'm just hoping there's less of that next year. And I'm hoping that, well, I can get back to doing this, get back to playing guitar, playing games, and doing the hobbies that I love. But we will see. Thank you guys so much. I will catch you in the next one. Peace.